Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Pre-Market News and Views by Money Stocks. Today is Monday, March 24th, 2014. Thank you all for tuning in. Let's jump right into the charts here. We're going to start off with the S&P 500 E-mini futures. We have moved over to the M contract. This is the month of June. So if you haven't changed that yet, you have to get off the H contract and back onto the new M contract, which is the month of June. The March contract, which is the H contract, has expired. And it looks like we have futures trading higher right now by about 5 points. They just started to move up a little bit in this last bar here. Right now, the current time is around 8:38 a.m. It looks like the futures are pretty much back in sync with the dollar-yen chart. So I think traders may want to watch that. Last week, the lockstep relationship with the dollar-yen was somewhat scrambled and out of sync. But today it looks to be back somewhat in vogue. So you want to keep that on the radar, and we'll see how that plays out. But so far, the market seems to be following the dollar-yen pretty closely, and those two seem to be in sync once again. So again, last week was an options expiration week. It was a quadruple witching expiration. It also was a week where the FOMC, the Federal Reserve, made their interest rate policy statement, which was really no change. But nonetheless, it did cause some volatility in the market. So again, right now, dollar yen is moving higher, and slightly higher, I should say, and so are the S&P 500 E-mini futures. So we want to watch that. Now let's go over to some stocks in the news today. First one we're going to start off with is NUS. It looks like they settled a deal with China. So the stock had been selling off pretty sharply. You could see down here it was trading around the $75 level on Friday. Today it's trading at $93.61. So it looks like they paid $500,000 to the Chinese government, and the stock is now catching a big bid. This can go higher. Watch it should stall out around $95.70, but it probably has upside today, maybe to around 104.26. So I'd be careful on the short side. That's a very strong gap up today. So watch the 104.26 level, 104.25. That should be where the stock probably stalls out. It's a tough short though. So if you own it, congratulations, you're catching a big pop. If you don't own it, I don't know if you really want to do much with it. The stock may hold up pretty well today because it is such a strong gap. So again, NUS settling a lawsuit with the Chinese government. So we'll see how that ultimately shakes out and plays out. But nonetheless, right now that news is being taken pretty well, and it's a very thin stock. So again, it doesn't have a gazillion shares out there, and it doesn't trade heavy volume. So the stock is catching a pretty sizable bid to the upside. So you want to respect it. But it looks like that the company did come out and say they don't really see any more enforcement actions against it by the Chinese government. So that's a positive really across the board. Let's take a look at Herbalife this morning. Looks like Carl Icahn has some more seats added to the board of directors. This is going to be a positive for the stock. The stock closed at $49.54 on Friday. It's trading at $52.90 today. So a decent little gap up there. I think the stock has a chance to be fairly strong today as well, just on that news. So we'll see if it can move higher. I would not get in front of it on the short side. I don't have great resistance levels here for Herbalife, so be a little bit on the careful side here. One level I would be watching for would be around $62.39. If price did get up to that level, watch for resistance around that area. But that's really about it. Other than that, it's a pretty good move today for Herbalife, and we'll see if it does cause any kind of a short squeeze. Right now, the battle between Carl Icahn and Bill Ackman continues. Lately, it has been Bill Ackman starting to win a few bouts here, but Icahn really has done well in the equity. But we'll see now that he has extra board members on the Herbalife board, if he can get that stock price a little bit higher. We'll have to wait and see. Let's take a look at Apple. They have news today as well. Looks like Apple is going to, I believe, join up with Comcast to do some streaming television or something along those lines. So again, we'll see how that plays out. Right now, Apple's sitting at around 538.33. The stock closed at 532.87. So Apple's moving higher a little bit more today. There's a ton of resistance around 549. I know you're going to say that's a long way higher, but when you're dealing with an equity this size, it's really not. But around the 549, 550 level, that's where I think Apple hits a wall of resistance. So keep that on the radar. I don't even know if the stock will trade up there today, but hey, you never know. Dollar yen moves up, anything's possible in the major market indexes. But Apple should stall out right around that level, really hit a wall of resistance if it gets there. So keep that on watch today, see if it does happen. Next one we're going to talk about is St. Jude Medical. STJ is the ticker symbol. And looks like they got some type of green light for some, I believe it's, let me just make sure I'm right here. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So St. Jude gets FDA okay for three types of different pacemakers. So the medical device maker moving decently higher. Stock closed at $65.62. Today it's trading at $69. Now there's not a lot of volume here, but when I calculated the max move upside, I got $71.75 to $72 as resistance. So keep that on the radar if it does trade up a little bit higher. So St. Jude Medical is having a pretty solid move to the upside today, so we're going to keep that on the radar. But this one is making a little bit of a move. But again, 71.75 to $72. That should be pretty good daily chart resistance. But it's a decent little pop on the upside there, so we'll see if that one stalls out around that level. It's a hard short. I'd love to say you could short that one, but it's a very, very tough stock to short because of the uptrend that it is in, and you just never know what the stock's going to do when you have these kind of patterns. It's coming from a down move on Friday to a big gap up this morning, so it's a fairly strong gap, and you have to respect that at least at the moment. SeaWorld is in the news today. Ticker symbol is SCAS. And looks like I think Blackstone is going to sell some shares. So I think that is in the news today. Looks like SeaWorld is going to be under some distribution because of some shares being sold. Again, I don't know how much we can make out of it. Right now I look at the stock. It looks like it's trading at $32.55, but the volume is too light there to make much out of it. In my opinion, though, if the stock gets to 31, you could look for a short-term bounce there. If it does get down to $31, that's going to be the level to jump into SeaWorld for an intraday scalp. What an intraday scalp means is a short-term day trade between 10 and 30 minutes. Okay, so that's all you want to do with that one. But that is a pretty good spot there for SeaWorld if it gets down to 31. So again, looks like private equity firm Blackstone is going to sell 15 million shares of SeaWorld, cutting its holding to around 25%. But again, the stock gets down to 31. It does look like it has quite a bit of support around that level. So keep that on the radar, $31 for SeaWorld. I'm not sure if it gets there, but if it does, there's a play. Let's take a look here at one more here. Next one on my list here is Lionsgate Film. The stock today looks like they have the #1 movie out. So we'll see how that one plays out. The ticker symbol is LGF. And you'll see the stock's trading at $29. It closed at $27.60 on Friday. This is a strong gap up. And this stock has really been beaten down. So Lionsgate, in my opinion, could still have a little bit more upside. Now, where can it go from here? That's the million-dollar question. I'm not sure how high it can go because strong gaps can always go higher, and you want to respect that. But I will tell you where it will hit some resistance, and it will hit some resistance right around the $30 level, and then really very good resistance around $31.20. So keep that on the radar. But nonetheless, it's a pretty strong gap up this morning. It looks like they have the #1 film out this week, and that is boosting the move in Lionsgate Films. Again, I don't know how much you want to make out of it, but it is a strong gap. I would not be shorting this equity. So do not short Lionsgate Films right now. Strong gap up this morning, and that's a pretty solid pop this morning before the opening bell, so you want to respect that. Let's go over the gold market this morning. Gold is getting hit pretty sharply. It is down $20.50 to $1,315.60 an ounce. Let's go to the GLD, which is a good proxy for gold futures, and you're going to see this is trading down to 126.73. So it can still go a little bit lower. The 200-day moving average on the GLD is around 125.50. We'll see if it does get down there. There will be some intraday support around that level. There'll also be a lot of support around 123.50 if it got down there. I don't know if it will see that low of a move, but if it does, those are two bounce levels for the GLD today, so keep those on the radar. But gold is getting hit. You have a stronger dollar yen. You also have a stronger US dollar index, and it seems to be doing the trick today for the gold market, moving lower. So we want to keep that on the radar. Now, a commodity that is moving higher is light sweet crude. Light sweet crude is trading higher by 53 cents a barrel to 99.99. Just call it $100 a barrel on light sweet crude. Taking a look at the USO, which is a good proxy for trading light sweet crude, you'll see that this is trading at 36.07. So decent little pop here, closed at 35.84, now trading at 36.87. I mean, the oil market is in somewhat of a range at the moment. I don't see anything great or anything terrible. Again, I do like the USO around 34.50, 34.55 if it did get down there. But right now it is trading higher before the opening bell, so that mark is still a long way off. We'll see where this thing settles in. But any way you slice it or dice it, USO and light sweet crude per barrel is trading higher, so we want to respect it at least at the moment. Again, I don't know if there's a lot more upside here, but I guess at the moment it's hanging in there. I don't really see much of a trade, but if it got down to around that 34.50 level, we would be looking to buy that as a scalp play today. So keep that on the radar, and that's for the USO around 34.50, 34.55. With that said, everybody, I'm going to leave it here short and sweet. I want to wish you all a great trading day, and we will see you a little bit later on the charts. Take care, everyone.